Hello everyone, this is Lorraine from Card Creations, and today we'll be putting a card project together using the Winter Frolic Cricut cartridge, and I'll show you the card that we'll be making. It's a gatefold card, and it opens up like this, and you have this adorable little guy on a sled on the inside, and we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing you need to do is get your card base, and it's cut at 8 by 5.5, and then I've scored it at 2 inches and flipped it around and scored it again on the other side at 2 inches. Okay, and then I've cut my panels to decorate the front at 1 7/8 by 5 3/8, and we'll go ahead and add that to the front. And then I've had several scallop circles that I had from another project, and I was trying to find something to do with them. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the front of our card and kind of make a snow slope or snowdrift scene with the scallops. So if you have a hole punch, scallop hole punch, you can use that, or else cut some scallop circles from your Cricut. There's several cartridges that have it. So what I've done is I've got my scallop circles, and I inked the edges with some distress ink, and I ran it through the Cuttlebug using the Swirl Divine cartridge. And now what I'm going to do is this is the front of our card here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to position these so that they overlap and create kind of a scene of snowdrifts. And it takes a few, but like I said, these are scraps and I wanted to use them. Okay, so I kind of like that, and let's see, I'm going to move this one up here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, even though they're hanging off the edge is a good thing, because we want to trim them to fit the front of our card with the shape of the card itself, the card base. So I'm just going to come on in here and add adhesive to some of the areas so I can have my circles attached to each other. Okay. And once I get them semi-adhered, I can go ahead and move them over and then kind of go in again and see if I need to add some more adhesive, like right down here. Okay, so now I'm going to flip my card over. Let me see where I had that. Okay, so now I'm going to flip my card over and trim off the excess from my ovals. And just go along the shape of your card like this. Okay. There we go. We'll just get those out of the way, and we'll turn it back, and now we have kind of a snowdrift scene for the front of our card. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to adhere this onto the front of my card, and I only want to add it to this flap here so that we'll still be able to open our card. So I've kind of measured where I need the adhesive, and I'm going to add quite a bit because we're going to have our trees on the front, and we don't want this to fall off. So I think I've got quite a bit there now. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add this to the corner and line it up. There we go. And there we have our snowdrift. I need to come back in here a little bit and just trim a little bit more off the edge. Okay, there we go. And see, this can still open up like this. I've already added my inside panels, and they're the same size as the ones on the outside. Alright, the next thing we want to do is add our trees. And I've already prepared our trees because I had to add some stickles and then my rhinestones, and that takes quite a bit of time. And I just added the stardust stickles all on the edge of the trees. I added double layer of foam tape on the larger trees, and let's see, a single layer towards the bottom of the middle-sized trees. And the trees are cut at 3.5, 3 inches, and then 2.5 inch. So now we're going to go ahead and add the bottom trees first. And I'll go ahead and peel my tape. And the trees can be found on page 55 of the handbook. Okay, and then we want to add our trees, the larger trees, down here at the towards the bottom of the right hand side. We'll add that right about there. Okay, and then we'll add our middle-sized trees right above that. And since it's getting towards the top of our snowdrift, that's why we only added foam tape to the bottom section of the trees. And I want this to go right about here, like this. Let me just double check. Yep, that's all concealed. And then the last thing we want to do is add this size tree right about here. And we could use our ATG for that, or some liquid glue, whichever you have. And I'm going to add that right about there. Okay, now our sentiment, I cut this at 1 3/4 inch with the shadow, and that's going to go right here like this. And I'm just going to add adhesive to the back, and remember, you're only attaching it to the left portion, so you only need a small section of your sentiment with adhesive on it. Okay, so the front of our card is done, and we'll go ahead and go on to the inside. Now I'm going to use the same type of technique on the inside because I want this little guy to be coming down a snow slope. And he was cut at 3 1/4 inches, and he's on page 42. I did add a little stickles to his hat too. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so I ran out of the large circles, so I got my 2-inch circle punch and put several circles together. And I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Cuttlebug. I've already glued most of them together, and you can see that it doesn't fit quite right, but I'm going to go ahead and emboss that first, and then we'll trim away the portion that we don't need. So I'm using the Divine Swirls, and this is what it looks like. And you can add all the circles together if once you've attached them. So we'll go ahead and do that. Just wanted to show you how it's done, and that you can run it through your Cuttlebug. Look how cute. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add this to this side. Actually, I want it going like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this up like I did before, and just measure on the back side and cut away. You can actually use a template card if you want to do that, but I don't have one with me here at the table, so we'll just make do with this. And once again, we'll cut away the portions we don't need. Okay, let's open it up and see if it fits inside. And it does. So we'll go ahead and attach that with our gun, our ATG gun. I use too much tape. But I just want to make sure it doesn't fall off, especially when you have several layers like this. Okay, and then our little guy is going to go right here. I kind of want him to be up a little bit so he's kind of peeking through the front of the trees, and then when you have your card displayed you can kind of see him. Okay, got the little guy. There we go. Okay, oops, I have to move him over, his little arms caught. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do is add some snowflakes. I've got these little snowflake shapes, and I'm just going to randomly add a few of these snowflakes. They're so cute. I got these from Hero Arts at Michael's. Okay, and then I'm going to switch to a different one. I just can't stop adding snowflakes. I wonder if I can add any over here. Ooh, kind of like that. I'll just add a few over on this side. Okay, and there we have our adorable card using the Winter Frolic Cricut cartridge, and you can even stand it up to display it. There we go. Bring in the other one. There we go. Our beautiful cards. Thanks for watching.